Are you the killer?
Am I the what?
Oh, no, you're not Mr. Rasmussen, are you? He's a Dane or something. Anyway, he's the killer from Golding Mash, if you must know. Ours has got a septic thumb.
Your killer?
The pigs. He kills the pigs.
Oh. No, I'm not Mr. Rasmussen, but you are Mrs. Croll, I take it.
Why?
Why don't you ask me in? I'd like to talk to you.
I've just been over to the South Circuit garage.
What are they giving away this week?
Potted plant with every 4 gallons as it happens. But one thing they didn't give away, carboy full of acid, nicked.
When?
Well, they couldn't say for sure. It's not the sort of thing they check very often. But it must have been sometime in the last fortnight. Had a quick look round while I was there. Place is wide open. Anybody could have walked in and had it away in the boot if they'd picked the time right.
And if they knew it was there?
Just to cheer myself up, I took a look at the customer list.
And?
Hopjoy's got an account there. Petrol and servicing. They're quite keen to have a word with him, as a matter of fact. He's in the red to something like 100 quid.
When was he last there? Do they remember?
He hasn't been there for a month or so. But his car has. Twice in the last fortnight. Driven by a friend of his.
I don't suppose you happen to know the friend's name, do you?
Periam. Mr. Gordon Periam. Keeps a tobacconist shop.
But he doesn't smoke. Yes, I know.
My husband handles all the farm business. Anyway, you're wasting your time if you're selling something. He's well satisfied with everything he gets.
That I can believe. Is he about?
He's up the top field, harrowing.
He must be.
I don't like sarcastic people. Just tell me what you want, will you?
I'm trying to trace a friend of mine.
Someone round here, you mean?
I think he's been here. In fact, I know he's been here.
What's his name?
Hopjoy. Brian Hopjoy.
Never heard of him.
But I think you have.
What are you insinuating?
My sole interest, Mrs. Croll, is in what brought him to this farm and in what he learned here. Perhaps now we understand each other.
I don't know who you are or what's been said, but it's not true. And even if it was, it's none of your damn business.
All right. I'm going to ask you to trust me. I could tell you my name. It's Ross, as a matter of fact, and the nature of my work, but there really would be no point in doing so. I can neither prove my identity nor give you convincing evidence of my profession. If I could, it would cease to be my profession. You don't understand. Naturally, you're not expected to understand. At least let me assure you that what might seem to you duplicity and mystification are terribly necessary.
Oh, you mean you're a spy?
Why should you think that?
Because Brian gave me more or less the same speech when he first came here.
Why did he say he came here in the first place?
He said it was about 3 casual workers we had on here at the time. Wanted to keep an eye on them or something. Europeans, they were.
I see. Where are they now?
Moved on, how should I know? You'd better not let my husband catch you. He'll be back for his dinner soon.
Perhaps we should meet again.
He sent you, didn't he?
Who?
You think I don't know what's going on? Hopjoy's moved on, so he sent you.
Is that really what you think?
I suppose you're quite nice, really. In a way.
My way could be your way.
I like a man in a collar and tie.
Neptune Hotel. My dear Mr. Hopjoy, blah, blah, blah. I may no doubt look forward to the satisfactory adjustment of your account, etc. George Tozer, gentleman's hairdresser, to goods, £15.75. A remittance will oblige, or no more of same can be supplied. The finance company about his car. Dear Mr. Hopjoy, blah, 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 regarding the confidential work undertaken by you for HM Government, requiring you to foster a false appearance of impecuniosity, I regret we must decline your invitation to seek confirmation from the Minister of State, and accordingly must advise you that unless instalments are brought up to date, etc., etc., etc. 8 of them. All very much the same. Dear sir, unless.
I don't know why he didn't wear a little badge. B. Hopjoy, Esquire. Counter-espionage agent. Available for... Where did I put that letter, Sid?
What letter?
The anonymous letter. The letter... Oh.
There must be thousands of pads like that around.
Hmm?
You know, it's funny. With one thing and another, all that money trouble and everything, you might almost say that getting himself done must have come as a happy release. If you see what I mean.
I do indeed, Sid. I do indeed.
Well?
It would appear he blew his cover.
Oh, my God.
He must have had a very compelling reason.
Drawing the quarry out in the open, offering himself as bait.
I don't know, but whatever, the situation had clearly become critical.
Nicest little job I've had in years. Absolutely fascinating. As a matter of fact, I hardly know where to begin.
By sitting down, perhaps?
Number 1, the bath. Yes, well, we all know about that, don't we? Slight discoloration of enamel consistent with submersion in highly concentrated sulfuric acid. Acid traces on the floor. No distinguishable fingerprints on basin. Damn it. Still asking a bit much. Oh, now then. Drains. Didn't do too badly with drains. Analysis of contents of drain trap established presence of unusual quantities of fat and carbon compound, possibly of animal derivation. Also, distinct calcium traces. You're with me there, are you, Squire?
The late Mr. Hopjoy, I presume.
Mind you, you mustn't run away with the idea that anything like exact identification is possible. It's all a bit tentative.
Oh, quite.
Yes, quite.
It's circumstantially impressive, all the same. I'm only sorry that there wasn't anything exciting in the solid line. Plastic buttons, gold teeth, that sort of thing.
Yes, pity.
Now, this has been giving us a few headaches, I must say. It was caught in that little grill thing underneath the bath plug.
Animal, vegetable or mineral?
Oh, mineral. Almost certainly nylon.
Nail brush.
Oh, too long. Anyway, it wouldn't be joined up like that. It's not out of a brush of any kind. Nobody at the lab had a clue.
Are you worried about it?
Well, of course I'm worried about it.
Because it might have nothing to do with the case.
£5 to a gnat's navel, absolutely bloody nothing, Squire. Elimination, though, that's what counts. Elimination. Now then, where were we? Oh! Blood stains. Bathroom floor, walls, on the razor blade.
Now, I don't quite see how this razor blade fits in. I mean, it couldn't have been used as a weapon, could it? I mean, you don't fell a bloke with a hammer and then cut his throat. That would be sheer ostentation.
Now then, what do you make of this? And this one has been pulled up even farther. The hammerhead.
Ah, yes.
And you can, of course, see what's wrong.
Well, to be perfectly honest,
No crushing, no skin, no follicles.
You're perfectly right, of course. Not a follicle in sight.
You see, Squire, it's reasonable to expect that hairs are going to stick to a hammer when it's been used to bash somebody's head in. But they get squeezed between two hard surfaces, steel and bone, for a fraction of a second before the skull gives way. So, naturally, They're bound to show some damage. These don't. Another thing. The hairs, or some of them, are bound to come out, roots and all. Plus the odd bit of skin. In this case, oh.
Can you say who these hairs belong to?
Well, certainly not Periam from the others we checked against. Almost certainly friend Hopjoy. So there you go, Squire. What do you make of that?
Well, you've certainly been thorough. It's just as well said that I didn't clap Periam in irons, isn't it? Well, I couldn't have been blamed if I had. I just knew there was something too pat about the setup in that house. And, of course, it was too much to expect a nice conclusive lab report with follicles.
Sorry, Squire.
Let me make this clear. What you're saying is that these hairs...
Do I understand, Mr. Purbright? Oh, forgive me a moment. I'll take these. Sit down, sit down. So do you think that an arrest would be unwise at this stage?
Well, it's this business of the hammer that's spoiling everything, sir.
Yes, I know. To go to all that trouble to... Purbright, may I?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, Caesar. Yeah, to go to all that trouble to dispose of the corpse and then apparently to manufacture evidence of violence. You know, I hate to see subtlety showing through this sort of thing.
I think so, though, that Periam's the only candidate.
Yes, well, I don't know him myself, of course. But from all accounts, he sounds a decent enough sort of fellow. Why on earth would he want to do such a frightful thing?
Frightful and premeditated, sir. If stealing that acid a week beforehand is anything to go by. Whatever, the motive must have been of pathological intensity, if indeed there was one.
Any money involved?
Oh, far from it, sir. Hopjoy left only debts. Debts and a lot of bad feeling.
One doesn't want to be uncharitable, but I suppose we shouldn't ignore... Well, you know, two chaps living on their own in the same house.
I think there's no doubt, sir, that Hopjoy was almost aggressively heterosexual.
Oh, was he? Well, I'm glad to hear it. One knows the sort of thing that goes on, of course. But I'd hate to think of you, Purbright, as having to fish in those waters. Yes. Oh, by the way, I had a word with Ross. Now, he doesn't see Periam as being involved in any way. In their parlance, he's cleared. In fact, they're looking far further afield.
So I believe so.
However, I wouldn't want them running into any unpleasantness. After all, they are our guests. Well, you know, in a sense.
I'll do my best to look after them, sir.
Good, good.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't pretend to be an encyclopedia, Mr. Pumphrey. I thought that by calling in a couple of local experts, it might save you a great deal of time.
I suppose you realise this information is highly confidential.
It's all right, Purbright. I'm sure you can question your chaps in a way that won't set any rabbits running, eh?
George Tozer. Now then, tell us what you know about him.
But you know, George, Inspector. The barber down in...
Spindle Lane.
Spindle Lane, that's it. The Rubber King.
You know old George, sir.
Of course I know him, but these gentlemen don't. It's for their benefit I want you to tell us about him.
Oh, I see. Well, a rum old sod is George. Ugly as vomit. He'd help anyone, though, wouldn't he, Sid?
Mm.
They reckon it was him that fixed up Lady Vera with that third husband of hers. You know, the book salesman with the one ear. Mind you, I reckon she started drinking Airy Storer by then. That's how she came to meet George, I suppose.
Well,
It's Mr. Tozer. What are his political affiliations?
Well, I know Lady Vera's a Conservative.
They don't risk letting her open any more fates, of course.
I've got a feeling George is Labour, isn't he?
Oh, not that politics would stop him doing you a good turn if he could.
Bit of a flannel of mind.
Oh, aye. Still, there's many a family in this town who'd be too big to be fed if it hadn't been for George and his little packets of three.
Yes, and perhaps we're not on the same tack, Sergeant. What can you tell me about this man's associates?
I've an idea he's in a team of bell ringers.
Aye, they reckon he's quite religious on the sideline.
I don't think he's what you might call associated with anybody special. I mean, why should he be?
The man who seems to have no associates, Sergeant, is generally the man who's taken great care to conceal them.
So much for Mr. Tozer, it seems. Now, what about this, hop-along character?
Crutchy Anderson.
Oh, right little villain is all crutchy. Hey, don't say he's been asking you to teach him how to play snooker.
I'd like to know who he is, that's all.
Well, he's a book his assistant, that's who he is.
He appears to do most of his business in back alleys. Why is that, Inspector? You have betting shops here like everywhere else?
No, indeed we have. But the local people, some of them, think of them as bidding for dig. Besides, furtiveness conveys a certain cachet, don't you find, Mr. Ross?
He mentioned to me that he'd lost his leg on a shipping run to Archangel.
That's right. Frostbite. Other times it's sharks in the Pacific. Anything to touch you for a pint.
He used to work on the shrimp boats over at Chelmsbury. Only one day he got drunk, put his leg in the shrimp copper. Cooked to the bone it was before he pulled him clear.
But he was a sailor, which means that he could have established contacts abroad, doesn't it?
Well, if you call the sandbanks 2 miles off the estuary abroad, I suppose he could. That's as far as the shrimpers ever go.
To the best of your knowledge.
Which brings us, I suppose, to Farmer and Mrs. Ted Croll out at Mumblesby. Bill?
Well, it's my considered opinion that young Bernadette's had more ferret than I've had hot dinners.
It would seem that Mrs. Croll has a reputation for promiscuity. Is that to the point, Mr. Ross?
Security-wise, moral turpitude is always the point, Inspector. The person that we are interested in was following a sound principle when he put Mrs. Croll under surveillance.
Yes, yes. What? Absolutely.
You know, it's funny we should be talking about old Tozer. Talk as he used to send blokes up there to keep Bernadette company.
Tozer. Direct connection, CD&F.
Aye. Fancies himself in the matchmaking line, like. They say he's got a list of all the lonely wives in Flax.
Are you suggesting that Mrs. Croll is in the public domain, favour-wise, as it were?
Well, that's how it's told.
Oh.
Man, yeah. I reckon he'll think twice before sending up another stand-in for Ted Croll.
Why? What happened?
Well, they say Ted turned up and caught the last one. Chucked him through the bedroom window like a thought-load of sugar beet. I don't know who it was. I could find out for you if you like.
Would you like me to have a word with Mrs. Croll?
You keep away from Mumblesby, Sid. Good God, they have to go in pairs to read the meters in that parish. Bill, it might be interesting if you could find out who.
Does anyone know who Rasmussen is?
He's a Dane. He used to have a farm of his own over at Pollard's Bridge until the government took all that land over. I think he does odd jobs nowadays, doesn't he? Yeah, slaughtering for one.
There'd be nothing unusual in Croll wanting a pig slaughtered, I suppose?
Another one, you mean?
And not with you.
Don't you remember, Inspector, I told you? He had one slaughtered a fortnight ago, that's all. Only someone pinched out the carcass from where it was hanging in the barn. Croll's been on me non-stop about it since. Swearing blue murder, yeah.
Fascinating, I'm sure. Hardly relevant, I would have thought.
Quite. One other thing, Sergeant. You said the government had taken over Rasmussen's farm. How did that come about?
All the land round there was taken. Compulsory purchase, I think they call it. For that big establishment place at, whatchamacallit?
At Thimble Bay.
Thimble Bay, that's right.
Thank you so much.
Fibre of fun think it's from a baby's hairbrush. Portsea Plastic say fishing line. And Hoffman's plumb for the retaining thread on a gyro compass. Take your pick.
Not a great deal of help, I would have thought.
Anyway, I'll keep trying. Now then, the tar. All in the boot, actually. A few strands of straw, almost certainly the carboy wrapping. And more to the point, bloodstains. All recent, definitely recent, but decidedly not human. So there you go, Squire.
Tell me, Mr. Warlock, this business of the bloodstains. I suppose you could tell fairly easily whether they're animal or human, eh?
Obviously.
Suppose some flesh, blood and bone were reduced right down to their chemical constituents. You know, carbon, water, calcium salts and so on. Could you decide what sort of animal they came from?
If you're thinking of the stuff that we found in the drain.
Indeed I am, Mr. Warlock.
Yes, well, let me make it quite clear. There's no way of telling whether that sludge was man, woman, the Archbishop of Canterbury's pet kangaroo,
or any other four-legged animal.
Go and take your coat off.
Oh, thank you,
What were you
sir.
saying now?
Well, sir, it's almost inevitable that part of such a complicated setup would prove faulty.
Sit down.
Oh, thank you, sir. The hair on the hammer was Hopjoy's right enough, but I don't think it arrived there from his having been bashed on the head.
Yes, but the blood.
Wouldn't be too difficult, sir, for a self-inflicted cut. Hence the razor blade.
Yeah, but there was a quarrel, Mr. Purbright.
Yes, and Periam didn't deny it, sir. But I think you find that it was a very one-sided quarrel, with Hopjoy doing most of the shouting. Possibly, very possibly, to disturb the neighbours and put in their minds the presumption of a quarrel.
All right. Then how do you explain away all the business of the body? After all, there was a body, we know that. All that stuff in the drains.
Have you read anything about cannibalism, sir?
Not avidly, Mr. Purbright, no.
It would seem that human flesh very closely resembles pork.
Indeed.
2 weeks ago, half a pig's carcass was stolen from a farm where Hopjoy was a regular and somewhat intimate visitor. We discovered traces of animal blood in the boot of his car and in 1 or 2 places in the house. Well, what I'm trying to say, sir, is that there was no body. No human body, at least.
You feel like a drink,
Oh, thank you, yes, sir.
Scotch?
Yes, thank you.
What you're trying to say, Mr. Purbright, is that the whole damn thing was contrived.
I'm afraid so, sir.
Well, what the dickens are we supposed to make of it, Some sort of joke or what?
It wouldn't have been a joke, sir, if Periam had been convicted of murder.
No, by Jove, it would not. Soda?
Oh, thank you, sir. And yet, you see, everything pointed to him. The circumstances in which he was found are almost classic. The refuge in sexual relationships, the flashy hotel, the enjoyment of the victim's car, as well as his girlfriend. The pattern, as presented anyway, was almost classic and absolutely damning. Presented being the operative word, of course.
Yes. Because what we have to remember is that tomfoolery was just this fellow Hopjoy's line of country. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, sir.
Intelligence service. Oh. Still, nothing much we can do about him. I mean, nothing we can charge him with.
Conduct likely to lead to...
Oh, to a breach of the peace. You can see his people letting us get away with that, can't you? Oh, no. He'll turn up somewhere else with a cock and bull story and start working up a new set of creditors, just you see.
I think, sir, that there's more to this case than mere debt dodging. Well, a man can arrange his own disappearance without leaving somebody behind to face a charge of murder. But a great deal of trouble and ingenuity was spent specifically to incriminate Periam. The one thing they didn't leave behind was a solid motive.
Oh. Then you think we'd be wrong to let the whole thing drop?
I quite agree with you, sir. I think we should definitely continue the investigation for a little longer. All the usual, Sid. Airports, boats, railways.
You're bloody sight easy if you had a photograph.
Yeah, well, friend Ross didn't supply one, did he? So we'll just have to go on a general description.
That bloke Ted Croll threw out of the window. Hopjoy.
Well, I don't know how Fred Hopjoy rated as a counter-espionage agent, but if he applied only half the talent he shows for fornication and insolvency, I reckon Russia's had it. Bedroom window. It must have been a bit cut up, surely.
Knowing old Ted, I'd say he was lucky he didn't get his neck broken.
You'd better go along to the hospital, Bill. See what you can find out, right? And put hospitals on the list, Sid. You never know. You might still be wanting some treatment.
Lovely.
So, he hasn't shown up, and I rather doubt that he will. I think it only right to relieve your minds on one point, though. I now think that we were mistaken in thinking that he was dead.
There you are, you see, I told you. Fancy chasing after us with that ridiculous story when we haven't been married 5 minutes. It's not what I'd call very tactful.
No, it wasn't, Mrs. Periam. But under the circumstances, we didn't have much choice.
Oh, it's all right, Inspector. Obviously, it wasn't very nice for us, and if anything had happened to him, well, we did let him down rather badly, you know, Darl. Now you know what you let yourself in for when you pinch your best friend's fiancé. There is one thing, Inspector. The house, you have finished there.
Oh, yes, yes. Give us a couple of days and we'll straighten it all out for you.
And the car?
Oh, you can have that sometime today.
Did it disappoint you?
Sorry?
Wasn't it covered in blood and fingerprints and everything?
Oh, Dor, really?
I mean, what did they expect?
So you'll be staying on at the house, then?
Oh, yes, we shan't move.
Not yet a while, anyway.
Well, it's been home for so long, and I'm sure Mother wouldn't want strangers moving in so soon after she, well, you know, passed over.
Died, darling. She's dead.
There is one thing I'm mildly curious about, Mr. Periam. I understand that Mr. Hopjoy had an accident a short time ago. can you tell me what his injuries were?
No, well, not in medical lingo, I couldn't. He had what I'd call a gammy foot.
Nothing serious, though?
Oh, good golly, no, he came home as right as rain.
From the hospital?
Yes. Between you and I think Bri had been coming the old soldier, you know, chatting up a pretty little nurse or something.
Not disabled in any way, though?
Not a bit of it. Take more than a tumble to put old Bri out of action, eh, doll?
Rather.
Old Bri? No. He's as strong as a horse.
Well, I'm sorry if I've been something of a
skeleton at the feast.
Something like that, yes.
Oh. But such a nice skeleton. In a funny sort of way.
Oh, really?
They're back. That court woman and her mother.
And?
And guess what?
You tell me, Sidney.
She says she wrote that letter.
We know all about the letter, don't you remember, Sidney? We reckon Hopjoy himself wrote it. Don't you remember the pad in the case, the indentations?
Well, that's what she says. Her exact words. Now I know what's happened, I feel very bad about sending that letter. I didn't mean to cause trouble.
Well, they never do they?
The reason I was up is because it happened to be one of my bad nights. The doctors told me never to take anything with pips for fear they might lodge. And that tea time I'd just had half a fig roll. No more. Well, that was enough. I was in agony till first light. Then the salts started working, thank the Lord. I did thank him too, right there on the what have you.
Then all you really saw, Miss Cork, in fact, were two men apparently quarrelling.
As I have said, yes.
Nothing very unusual in that, I would have thought. Nothing to impress you enough to write an anonymous letter. Oh, it's all right, you won't get into any trouble. I haven't even seen it yet.
Well, of course you haven't seen it. It wasn't sent to you.
I'm sorry, Miss Cork, I don't quite understand. According to my sergeant...
I don't want to talk about it, not about that. I couldn't.
This letter, was it about something you saw?
Naturally.
In the Periam house? There were goings-on?
In her room.
Her room?
His mother's. Romping like dogs on a grave in the middle of the afternoon. Disgusting little tart.
Are we talking about Doreen?
A woman like that causes nothing but trouble. I know.
How long ago was this?
I don't know. 2 months.
And the letter, I presume you sent it to her fiancé?
I've had this out in prayer and I was told I'd taken the right road. The answer to your question is yes, if you feel it'll do you any good. And I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Did you read last night's paper?
Should I have?
Listen to this. Salt pork. That's the headline. The season's oddest catch was landed at Brockleston South Bay last Friday by a Sheffield angler. It was half a pig. Rather the worse for immersion. And the name of the fisherman, Mr. Andrew Hogg. Popular place for fishermen, Brockleston. And for honeymooners of a sort.
Here you are. You are funny, Gordon. You just sort of hide yourself away.
I used to read to her, you know. She used to love me reading to her.
It's very old-fashioned, this room. I think we should do it all white. Or yellow, perhaps. A nice yellow. And we'll certainly have to get rid of all this stuff.
Leave it alone. There's plenty of time for that, eh, Dal?
Yes, thank you. I remember Mr. Hopjoy very well. He was in my ward. Ruptured liver.
Liver?
He'd had a rather nasty fall or something.
Mr. Periam said he'd sprained his ankle.
Then Mr. Periam, whoever he is quite wrong, I'm afraid.
Is the operation very drastic?
No, not exactly. The idea is to mend the thing, much as you would, well, a torn cushion. Sew it up. The biggest snag, I suppose, well, you don't want a lot of technical stuff, do you?
No, not if you can avoid it, no.
No. No, well, the point is that the liver doesn't mend itself like most of the other bits, so any repairs have to be permanent. That's why they use non-soluble sutures. And they have to be treated with a good deal of respect ever after.
I'm told that this man left the hospital in a somewhat frisky condition. Is that likely, do you think? I mean, could he lift heavy weights, for instance?
The only thing he'll be lifting for a bit is a glass. And he'd better not make too regular a habit of that, either.
I rather fancy he won't be doing much of anything. These non-soluble sutures, would they be made of nylon?
I believe they are, as a rule, yes.
Take a look at that, will you?
Could be, certainly. Where did you get it?
And it was stuck in a drain pipe.
Stuck in it? Go on, I'll buy it.
Sorry, sister. The price is too high. Far too high.
I've already said I don't want to talk any more about it.
There's just one more thing, Miss Cork. This letter that you wrote to her fiancé, was it addressed to Mr. Hopjoy? It really is most important, Miss Cork. Did you write that letter to Mr. Hopjoy?
No, of course it wasn't him. He was the... I wouldn't soil the paper with his name. It was Mr. Periam she was engaged to. Had been for nearly a year.
Then it was Hopjoy with whom she was... whom you saw... Thank you, Miss Cork. I just wanted to make sure there was no misunderstanding.
I really fail to see your point, Inspector.
My point, Mr. Periam, is this. Hopjoy was a fraud. He traded on credulity, not least the credulity of his own employers. What finally put paid to him was not his false pretenses, but his determination to seize every opportunity of, what shall I say, brushing up his carnal knowledge. Is that not so, Mr. Periam?
I rather feel that I'm being accused of something.
You know, I underestimated you, Mr. Periam. As indeed did Hopjoy. His end was the classic case of being hoist with your own petard. And you planned it brilliantly and precisely. I suppose I ought to congratulate you.
Why might I ask would I want to plan anything?
Ah, motive. Now, first, I couldn't supply one. I only knew that it had to be of pathological intensity, I think I called it.
Oh, yes.
Now I know how it was supplied. By a letter from a frustrated spinster. And, which is more to the point, by the knowledge that that shrine of a bedroom had been desecrated.
Well, in that case, why didn't I kill Dor as well?
Perhaps you thought that involving her in a crime would be a more fitting punishment. After all, she did make that telephone call to the hotel, didn't she? Perhaps she thought you merely meant to scare him away. No doubt I'll get her version. After all, she is an accomplice, if only technically.
You've got no right to come here and say these things.
I've got a car outside. I'd like you to come with me, Mr. Periam.
I'm not going to listen to this. I'm not going to listen to this. Excuse me.
Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thank you, Mrs. Periam.
Where's Gordon?
Oh, he's not gone far away, Mrs. Periam. In fact, I don't think he'll ever be far from this place. Not far enough, anyway.
There's one question that hasn't been answered, and it's so important I'm going to put it to you frankly here and now. For whom was Periam working?
I'm afraid, Mr. Ross, this is where we must acknowledge that we inhabit different worlds. I believe that if Periam were working for anybody, and I wouldn't choose the phrasing myself, he was working for his mother.
His what?
Freud, as they say, comes to Flaxborough.
Frankly, I fail to understand how an officer of your experience could be so naive.
Oh, come now, Harry.
You're worried about the Thimble Bay establishment, of course.
Well, it's just that, security-wise...
I wasn't going to tell you this, but I feel it only fair to put you into the picture, fact-wise. The Thimble Bay no longer exists, not in your terms, anyway. It was abandoned almost 6 years ago.
Why did you not say this at the beginning?
We didn't know it at the beginning.
Anyway, as you yourselves said, gentlemen, you proceed your way, we'll proceed ours.
Well, things seem to have cancelled themselves out rather neatly, after all. If they proved anything, it is simply, I suppose, that time wounds all heals, as Marx so succinctly put it.
What?
Not Carl, Mr. Pumphrey. Groucho. Mrs. Lilian Bannister, 13 Cadwell Close.
Correct.
Oh.
We suddenly thought she hasn't been round for ages, so I sent him round to the house.
Lunchtime it was.
And there was this woman peering through the letterbox.
But there's nobody in, she said.
I know there's not, he said. And I'm getting very annoyed, she said.
Well, what do you want? I said.
Want? I want to get in, she said. It's my house, or will be, on the 25th.
Yours, I said.
Mine, she said. We've just bought it, me and my husband.
Well, you can imagine.
We went to the agent, of course.
Lil had signed the contract and everything.
Not that he cared a tuppenny about where she was.
So we went to the solicitor.
Where is she, I said, and where is she selling the house?
Presumably she wants to move, he said.
And there's no reason why she shouldn't still be living there till the date of completion, which is still another fortnight.
So where is she, I say?
I've no idea, he said. However, there is one thing I ought to mention. Since there was no outstanding mortgage or anything, and since all parties were agreeable, I advanced your sister-in-law, at her request, the sum of £1,000 against the purchase price. I don't like the sound of that at all, I said. Not at all.
Which is why we are here.
You can't think of anyone that she could be staying with for a few days?
There's only us.
How old did you say she was?
52.
Oh, 52, yes, of course, you told me, yes. Is this a good likeness, do you think? I mean, is she good-looking, active?
I wouldn't call her a beauty, exactly.
Oh, quite nice, though. I mean, quiet, but quite nice.
You don't think Mrs. Bannister was thinking of marrying again, perhaps?
Oh, no. The thing is, you see, Lily's always been so careful, so methodical. I mean, if she had gone away, she'd have let next door know. And she didn't. She didn't tell anyone.
Yes. Well, I think we'll leave it for a few days. I mean, she'll have to come back, surely, to let the new people into the house. If she hasn't turned up in a few days, we'll start trying to chase her, all right? Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Sergeant.
Inspector. Second one in 2 months.
Same as before then, Sid. Travel agents, bus stations, railway stations, hospitals.
Didn't get us very far last time, did it?
Didn't get us anywhere.
Oh, God. I hope it's not one of those human remains things. I can't stand human remains.
whisky, madam.
Thank you, my dear.
Are you feeling faint after the journey, madam?
Not a bit of it. Cheers.
Are you from London, madam?
I am indeed.
Thought you were from London. I've got an uncle in Cricklewood.
How very nice for both of you.
I expect you're just visiting, are you?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking of living here.
Well, there's nothing much in Flax. Nothing at all, really.
Oh, I expect I shall find something to stretch my faculties.
Oh, yes.
I feel like something fresh, something challenging. I do enjoy a challenge.
Oh, I don't. Well, not in Flax, anyway. Now, London...
The thing about Londoners, you know, my dear, is their complacency, which explains their gullibility. Hence the success of so many of our provincial cousins in creaming their fortunes in London before the natives discover that they haven't just come for the football match and to look at the pigeons. Thank you, my dear.
Mind you, the Romans came here, and the Vikings, and the Thingamies, the Normans, so it must have something, mustn't it? I just wish I could find it, that's all.
Flaxborough has a steady, well-founded prosperity. I see no reason to suppose that that prosperity will diminish. Now that is more like it.
I found all their personal papers, what there is of them. Kitchen drawer.
Oh. Well, we can't take many of these, if any. Right, let's have a look at this then. Ah, here we are. £1,000 cash, 4 days after it was paid in by the solicitor. Just as Martha Reckitt's cashed her life savings 2 months earlier, almost £2,000.
Does smell a bit.
2 women, both about the same age. Both rather retiring, no close friends. Lonely, perhaps. One a spinster, one a widow. And both with something in common. They had ready money and they were available.
Fellas, you mean? Well, the way I hear it, they are both highly respectable.
Exactly. And a woman like that isn't going to run off with the first man who knocks at the door and asks her to do a bit of modelling. She'd want something more substantial. Lust might well seethe in the maidenly bosom, but a woman like this, she's going to have a prime regard for security. So when I say available, Sid, I mean matrimonially available.
No, I don't see it.
Well, it has to be. It's the only bait that would have worked, surely. Anyway. Well, she wasn't a great one for writing cheques. Insurance, gas, electricity. Hello. What's this? Sylvia Staunch, £30, 4 months ago. Any idea who Miss, Mrs. or Ms. Sylvia Staunch might be?
Rings a bloody bell.
Of course, London has been my home for many years, but I've never been fully happy there.
The big city can be a very lonely place.
Indeed it can. And then in recent years, so intimidating. No time to stand and stare, as they say. And then I do so love the sea. Do you not find that Flaxborough smells of the sea?
We have a tidal river.
Tidal? Oh, how nice.
And there are the docks.
I'm very fond of docks. Not that I've ever been in one, you understand.
So, here you are in our little community, and you feel you would like someone to share in the adventure.
A guide? A comforter, perhaps?
No, seriously. I feel you may have the right idea. I know how difficult it is to adapt to a new environment. And 2 heads are always better than one, are they not?
Well, not on the same neck. As my uncle used to say, he was a bit of a card, the rector.
Of course. I think it's only fair to tell you that by no means everyone who comes here is accepted as a client. We're very selective. We insist upon 2 qualifications. Good background and sincerity.
Oh, I think you're so wise. These days...
Take the matter of the fee, for instance.
Yes, do.
£30 for a mere introduction may seem to some people a little high, but someone of breeding, of integrity, will recognize that a high fee is designed for her protection, a sort of safety barrier against exploiters. It's also a test of sincerity. A true heart setting out to seek its fellow does not ask the cost of the journey.
Neither does it travel cheap day return.
And now, a painless spot of form filling. Something we can't escape these days, isn't it?
I'm terrible at forms. My stockbroker says that I'll land myself in prison if I'm not careful.
Just you take your time, my dear. I've one or two things to see to in the other room, so I'll leave you to it. Use my desk.
Oh. Well, what do you expect? Butcher blue drawers and a long-sleeved vest?
Well, I don't know. Women of that age.
I forgot. 52's near death to you, isn't it? I know. Lilian, my dear. I took a trip, or pilgrimage, should I say, to the church this morning. How right you are. What a noble edifice, and how fitting for vows unto death.
I think I must use the scene for my next novel. Thank you for lending me back those earlier letters. I was right, I think. They do contain some phrases that ought to be worked into another book. You see what inspiration you give me. And here is some good news. My publisher is sending me an advance of £2,000. Isn't it wonderful to have one's talents recognized, my darling? And not only that, think how much it will mean towards the little investment in our happiness. Oh, by the way, the agent says cash will be best. These country swains are suspicious of checks. Good night. A sweet good night, my dearest. I will be waiting tomorrow at our tree. Your impatient Rex.
P.S. The agent tells me he thinks that our enemy will withdraw his bids for the cottage once our deposit is paid. Good-o. Exit Mrs. Bannister via our tree.
Blimey. He certainly writes like an author. No date, no address, and the way he asks for that letter back. That's clever, that is.
Yes. And perhaps it explains why we found nothing at Miss Reckitt's.
If it's the same bloke.
Oh. Well, at least we know there is one. Also, hence the £1,000. Our little investment in our happiness.
You want me to check the registry offices and so on, will you?
No, I don't think so, Sid. After all, an offer of marriage doesn't always lead to a short walk down the aisle, does it?
No.